And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Captain Jack show. I am hosting for him again for at least another week. My name is Angelo, or in the Raider Nation world, they call me Raider Transplant because as of today, I am 19 months successful as a liver transplant survivor. So, if you guys are joining tonight, I want to thank you very much. I appreciated that. Like last week, there was 250 of you guys stuck around for a couple of hours, so I really appreciate that. Let's see, I got James. Hey, James. Yeah, Captain right now, he's busy doing some stuff. So the last 2 weeks so far, on Thursday nights, we've had Bishop AJ the Raider host the shows, and then on Sundays I'm hosting the shows, and then on Wednesdays for the Wild Wild West show, which was a really good show this past week, where we talked about all the different changes and kind of the state of where all the Raiders are at and everything. That's on Wednesdays at 4:30, and I get to represent Captain Jack for the Raider Nation on that one, so that's definitely fun. But yeah, no, if you're on tonight, thanks for joining. Again, what we were going to be covering for today's show, the majority of the topics and has been about QBs and free agency, and really, I guess if there was going to be any type of news. All right, cool. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Let me shout out my guys here. Nice to see you. Nice to see my brother. Hey, let me know if you want to hop on too once I start talking about some of these subjects, because more than happy to have any of you guys come on the show and talk about what you guys think is going on. But as I was saying, so this week, if you listen to all the different shows and all the different talking heads, essentially what everybody's discussing is that the NFL marked their salary cap, which was 255 million point something or other. So what it essentially did is, I guess it was a higher projection than what most people thought. And currently you're going to see reports out there that's saying that the Raiders are at about 46 million in calorie cap space. When I look at it on Over the Cap, guys, which is a good thing to use, what it says is that we're at 42 million. But again, that's before any type of changes. Even before they announced this with the NFL, the 255 on the salary cap, I kind of projected us with, by the time we do whatever we need to do with Jimmy Garoppolo, and by the time we maybe do a post-June cut or trade with Hunter Renfrow, and a few other moves. Again, of the 5 starting offensive linemen, 3 of them are pretty much going into free agency. So, by the time all that gets done, then I had it to where we could get it up to as high as close to 70 million. I mean, that's a conservative number. I mean, that's not even talking about restructures of certain players that may actually want to do it. So we'll see. It's certainly a really good year that if you're a Raider fan, and you're paying attention to all these new changes that we have, all the different new coaching additions that we brought in, with the free agency too, and how many different players are going to be available, like a DJ Reader or Christian Wilkins or a Justin Matabuke, right? There's all these different availabilities. You never really know what's going to happen. And this could be a year where it could be an all-in year. Maybe. We'll see. We know that Mark Davis has certainly said that this is the year, he wants to go for it every year. This is the first full year of Antonio Pierce being in charge. But for some of you guys who may remember this, back, I believe it was in the 1989, 1990 time framings, we had the same scenario where Mike Shanahan was our coach, and then Art Shell took over as the interim. And then the very next year was Art Shell's first full year. And then that first full year that Art Shell was our coach, we actually went 12 wins, which is huge, right? 12 wins for the first year. So is that a possible scenario for us this year? Very possible. Very possible. Just because competition always changes, and as much as we want to get used to the routine of the Chiefs have been on it, whatever, for the last 5 years, and they're always winning the division and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, there is that champions fatigue that happens. They've been playing a lot of football. Remember that the Raiders are the last team to actually beat the Chiefs. That was on Christmas Day. And part of the strategy there was because Antonio Pierce believed that the Kansas City Chiefs at this point are just tired mentally, physically. I'm sure they're going to do some things to try to fix that. But we're doing a lot of things, and we're going to have some fresh legs and younger legs. And then, again, going to quarterback, right? We can get that right off the bat. We got Matt asking, who do I think will be our week 1 starter at quarterback? So I'm sure as you guys have seen this week, as you're watching all the different shows, right? What is it that we're hearing now? Justin Fields is in play. I never thought he wasn't in play. I think that Justin Fields is in play for a lot of people, mainly because, again, he already has NFL experience. You have to be able to be fair and say that Justin Fields hasn't had the exact best case scenario for him in terms of the coaches around him, and I'm talking about consistency of coaches around him. And consistency of players around him and whatnot. Then he was injured. So I think that if you're going to grade Justin Fields as a possibility for him coming to our team, we have to look at what his draft analysis was, right? Like, what was everybody thinking of? What was everybody hoping for his ceiling when he was at the draft? Because we've seen some pockets of really great stuff that Justin Fields can do. And we know that physically he's super athletic. He's very big bodied, like 230. He's strong-willed. When he was in college, he obviously has amazing games and tapes. So wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I don't exactly know if the Raiders would actually. I mean, they keep saying that, to get Justin Fields, Chicago's probably going to ask for a 2nd-round pick. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to trade a 2nd-round pick this year for Justin Fields because I just feel like in the 2nd round, there are so many other positions we can address. For example, if we pick at number 13, or if we use the first pick because we're somehow trading up, that 2nd pick is going to be really important for us. And depending on who we get at free agency, that 2nd pick is going to have people falling to it, like Chris Jenkins or Tavondre Sweat, who's a defensive tackle from Texas, right? Chris Jenkins, a defensive tackle from Michigan. You may have some cornerbacks falling down that low. I mean, there's some super talented cornerbacks falling to the 2nd, but you might also have some, depending on how the 1st round goes, you might have some offensive linemen falling down into that 2nd pick. You might have a Tyler Guyton end up at number 44, which he would be great to solidify our right tackle, for example. So giving up the 2nd pick for Justin Fields, I mean, again, I'm not a part of the Raiders in the sense that I can make these decisions, but if you're asking for my opinion, I don't think that that's a really good idea. I think that if we're going to get Fields, if the Bears truly are thinking they're going to go get someone like Caleb Williams, then they're either going to do one of 2 things. They got to either keep Fields or they're going to have to trade him away anyway. So why would we up the price? I could see a scenario where we could give up a 3rd, maybe give a 3rd and a Hunter Renfrow, right? Something like that. Like, that'd be a fair deal. But no, I definitely wouldn't want to give up a 2nd. As far as who do I think will be the week 1 starter, I think that's really going to come down to what happens this coming week, guys. In the next few days, starting on Tuesday, we're going to get to see the combine. And the combine's fun, right? Because all it really is it's it's like watching the dunk contest or watching the 3-point contest, right? Well, does watching those skill moves necessarily tell us how good of a player they are? I mean, the one great example I can give you is Jerry Rice, who's known as arguably, I don't think it's arguable, but people will argue Randy Moss or Jerry Rice. But for me, I still think Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver we've ever seen in the game. At one point, we were even talking about Jerry Rice being the best player ever in the history of the NFL. But if we're looking at combine and speed and this and that, Jerry Rice wasn't really a combine type player. So there's going to be some people this week that's going to pop in the combine and everybody's going to go, whoa, this guy looks amazing, right? But who knows? Who knows how that translates to the game? So I always try to ask everybody, hey, look, the combine might look good, but then if you're really interested in a player and it pops for you this week during the combine, then do the research and then watch some of his games just so that you could see how well they would do in live time. And then the other thing I'll say too, Matt, is that Kurt Warner even talked about how hard it is to grade these quarterbacks coming from college the last few years because the college game, there's not enough things being done to really show how a college player would translate to the NFL, which is maybe why a lot of people thought Bryce Young was better than CJ Stroud, because we clearly saw how good CJ Stroud is. And I'm not saying Bryce Young is terrible, but again, Bryce Young isn't a one-man show, and you saw that he does, because he isn't as tall and because there's certain things that he did do well in college, but do those things translate in the NFL? And then that's where we start talking about these quarterbacks, right? We already know that Antonio Pierce is, for lack of a better word, I will say he's in love with Jayden Daniels because he was the one that drafted him and studied him and brought him to ASU and the whole bit. So even if we were trading him to number one, if you guys were thinking that number one was going to end up being Caleb Williams or Drake May, sadly, if we're trading up anyways, if that's the actual move, I still think that the only reason why they're going to trade up is for Jayden Daniels. So I think that the Jayden Daniels combine or this week's going to be interesting, right? What we see and what we see out of all the other quarterbacks, because really that's kind of, going to start to give you an idea. I still don't think the Raiders should trade up. I'm still one of the people that's saying to myself, no, that's okay. The only scenario that I would feel the most comfortable in trading up would be the Patrick Mahomes deal, which was we give our number 13 pick, which is the first this year, and our first next year, and we give a third round pick, and that's it. I don't even really like the Trey Lance deal, but what I'll know is if they're willing to give up 3 number ones and a number 3 to move up to go get Jayden Daniels, then they're really kind of going all in on a kid like that, right? Which in this scenario, guys, I still think that even if we did go get Jayden Daniels, we still need to set him for a year. Make his body strong, because what we've already seen is like you look at a guy like Justin Fields, who's super strong, 230 pounds, right? He can run, and then he gets injured. And then same thing, like look at Anthony Richardson, first year. The Colts put him out there and started. That guy's 245, and he's 6'5". He's built like a linebacker, and he's a quarterback. And then what happens to him? Gets hurt. There's a concussion and a shoulder. Then he has to go to surgery. So even with Jayden Daniels, I'm not saying, if the Raiders, if that's what they choose to do, and we sit here and we watch it, I'm not going to hate on that we went up to go get Jayden Daniels. I'm just saying that I'd really like to protect the kid now. And I still think Aiden O'Connell should be the starter in that first week. So hopefully that kind of answers your question, Matt, because other than free agency, I think it's Aiden O'Connell's job to lose. I think week 1 starter, Aiden O'Connell. It's his job to lose. So unless they bring in, and I know you guys are hearing the smoke about Kirk Cousins, but in all honesty, guys, unless Kirk Cousins is willing to take a deal at $20 million or less, do you honestly see the Raiders using their cap money when we need defensive line, offensive line, cornerback, maybe bring in an extra linebacker? Like there's so many other needs. We're going to spend what? $30 million, $35 million to bring in Kirk Cousins for 2 years, like no matter how you spin it, I just don't see that. I don't see Kirk Cousins being it, because if we're going to spend that money, then we might as well go after someone like Baker Mayfield, right? But younger, not injured, not coming off an Achilles injury. I mean, like there's so many reasons why it wouldn't be Kirk Cousins. And then you'll hear all the different things about, well, Justin Fields. Well, they could trade it. Yeah, okay, sure. I wouldn't hate a trade for Justin Fields. I'm just saying I don't think we should trade more than a third-round pick, third round and a player, third round and a Renfro, something like that, right? Because we're really, one of the great things about being a Raider fan right now and watching where the Raiders are at is we're in a positive position. We're in a position to move forward. We have great salary cap space. We have great young players, right? I mean, everybody saw how good Malcolm Kuntz became, right? So, like, we have all these different pieces. We have great coaching around us, or at least all the coaches that have been hired, we know of it, are great coach potentials, right? So we're in a position to move forward. We're in a position to be positive. So that's where we're at. Let's see. Matt's saying that there's a rumor that James will be let go and Parham will be our next center. So picking up a yeah, that's true. And Parham could be our center, but I want you to keep this in mind, Matt. So Lloyd Cushenberry from Denver, who is a free agent, is someone we're probably going to target. In fact, I'd be surprised if we don't, because James Craig, who's our offensive line coach now, he's the guy that coached LSU when Joe Burrow was there. They won the Joe Moore Award, which is for the best lineman in the entire National College League. So essentially, during that year, there was Damian Lewis, who is a free agent coming from Seattle now, and then Lloyd Cushenberry. Those were two of the pillars, and they're both free agents this year. So I can totally see us going after a Lloyd Cushenberry, which would be an upgrade from Andre James, right? It wouldn't necessarily be Parham getting moved to center. And then there are other moves out there, like Kevin Dotson's available from the Rams. So there's some left guards that are free. There's some right guards that are also free agents. There's the right tackle that I'm really excited about is Michael Onwenu that's coming from the Patriots. I'd love it if we spend some money to go get somebody like that. But we definitely need to go get the line settled, especially right tackle, right guard, because we would probably play someone like Parham left guard, right? And then we're going to want some depth in there. So we probably will go get some guards. Like if we end up picking up like a Zach Zinter in the fifth round or something like that from Michigan, right guard, like that wouldn't be a bad move. So yeah, so let's see. Not sure the Fields can throw the ball as good as O'Connell. He can definitely launch it if you watch some of the tape. So like what made me fall in love with Luke Getsy is when I watched kind of some of the breakdown tapes that Luke Getsy did last year, I saw a lot of throws that Justin Fields just like he messed up. Going into this, so that's some of the things that's not great about him is that he's still like, I feel like Aiden O'Connell processes a lot faster, and Aiden O'Connell is a lot more willing to throw the ball, obviously, because Aiden O'Connell is not a runner, right? Versus Justin Fields, still, he'll like look to run before he'll look to pass, and we want somebody who will chuck that ball downfield. But no, there's games you can watch like the Redskins games where Justin Fields, the Commanders game, Washington Commanders versus the Bears, where Justin Fields was just like launching it to DJ Moore and stuff, and Darnell Mooney and everything. So let's see. We got, Brendo Ball Bomber. Thank you, sir. Raiders will be fine using the number 13 pick on Penix. And see, like I'm glad you put that out there because Penix is an interesting pick. I think Penix is going to drop, guys. I really do. I think that those injuries or that injury history and his frame not being so thick, I think that's going to make him drop to the second anyway. So picking him at 13 might be a little high. I think that we might even be able to just steal someone like Penix on our number 44th pick, right? But I don't think Penix is going into first round. I mean, I hear all the different things, and we're going to see in the combine. We'll see what happens. But in all honesty, man, that him not playing in the Senior Bowl didn't help him. That helped a lot of other people like Bo Nix, which is why you're hearing Bo Nix moving up to the first round, right? But we'll see. Like, again, I mean, we know that someone like Sean Payton for the Denver Broncos right now, they need a quarterback, right? So they could sit there at 12 and wait for someone like J.J. McCarthy to drop or Bo Nix to drop, maybe. Or they might be one of the teams that's willing to trade and move up. I mean, you never know what these guys are thinking. So, yeah, let's see. All right, Silver Fox, thanks for showing up tonight. I hope you liked last week's show. So let's see. Hey, D Menace, you made it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Let's see. All right. Telesco is too smart to give up the farm to trade up for QB. We get number 13 pick with Penix. Again, I still think Penix will drop. We'll see what happens in the combine, but in all honesty, like, there's so many good talents that are you really going to pass up on someone like a Byron Murphy or a Talisi Fuaga or, someone like Quinyon Mitchell's rising, but then Terrion Arnold, right? It's only 20 years old. I mean, Penix is great, but again, I still think Penix is going to be a strong second-round pick, maybe early second-round pick. But I honestly can't see him getting picked up in that mid. You'll hear news about it, but we'll see what happens. He launches the ball great. He does have a funky delivery, which might scare some people. And then again, you have to watch tape that translates to the NFL. So we know he can throw the ball deep. We know he can deliver it if he's protected. But then if that's the case, then why wouldn't we just spend the number 13 pick on someone like Talisi Fuaga so that they can help protect Aiden O'Connell, who we also know can get the ball downfield and we know can launch the ball. Like, it's the same thing. If the whole point of if you're going to go ahead and draft that quarterback in the first round is you're probably going to want someone that's mobile. And if you want somebody that's mobile, that's not Michael Penix. That's, so that's why you'll hear a lot of, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is the guy that the Raiders should get, or J.J. McCarthy. But again, I still don't think unless they're going for who they really, really want, which from what AP is saying is going to be Jayden Daniels. Unless it's that, I really don't see them picking a quarterback in that first round anyway. But we'll see again, because we also are about to find out here really soon. Remember that by not this coming Tuesday, but by next week, Tuesday, that March 5th date, everybody that has to tag players has to already have completed it. And if they didn't tag the player, now it's okay for every team to talk to everyone, right? So, for example, we already know that nobody can go get T. Higgins because he got tagged, right? So that's what I'm saying is Chris Jones hasn't been tagged yet, So we're gonna see a lot of different things. Let's see. Matt says does not think anyone we draft will be ready week one. I agree. If we don't pick up a quality free agent quarterback, O'Connell will be our week one starter. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And even if we pick up somebody at free agency, it's still a competition, right? So we'll see what happens. There's a Jacoby Brissett out there. We don't know if that's who AP and Telesco want to bring in. I mean, again, it depends on how much money do they want to spend on getting a free agent quarterback, right? And if they're I'm sure they want Aiden to compete, but that's why I don't believe in the Kirk Cousins thing. I just don't see us spending $30 million on a free agent quarterback unless we're going after Baker Mayfield. Still under 30, did extremely well, right? Former first-round pick. And Baker Mayfield plays like a Raider. He literally headbutts his teammates without a helmet. Like that. That's crazy, right? Yeah. So Michael, I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. So Captain's just doing some stuff because again, he's trying to make sure that he solidifies a job so he could join us to all these different events. So he's just busy right now, but he will be back. This is just the second Sunday that he hasn't been a part of it, but we talked about this right before the Super Bowl show. So if you want to rewatch that, it was the Super Bowl show where Captain explains it all. Let's see. Comp pick for Captain Jack. Okay. I don't understand that. Let's see. I'm excited to see what the front office decides to do. Yeah, me too. Let's see here. All right, Jack Kenna, thank you. Thanks for coming in. And again, guys, I'll tell you what, I continue to kind of bring up some of these things. If any of you want to jump on and any of you guys just want to talk about it, I'm happy to do it. So what I'll do right now is I am going to go ahead and put it on the comment section for you guys. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, so if any of you guys want to go ahead and jump on, it is right there. The Captain Jack link is right there. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Thanks, Jack. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, he's working on it. He's working on it, so he should be back soon. He might even make an appearance tonight. I mean, I texted him earlier, and he might. It just depends on how everything's going. So, but yeah. So anyway, like just like what I titled on the show today, talking about free agency, talking about quarterbacks. So let's bounce that out a little bit, right, guys? You tell me. But so the big talks this week was, oh, the Raiders are going to go get Justin Fields. Luke Getsy knows a lot about Justin Fields. They have a good relationship. Blah 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 blah. So what would you guys rather have? Would you rather have Justin Fields trade, depending on the price, obviously, or let's say that a Justin Fields trade was going to end up being 3rd round pick and Hunter Renfrow for Justin Fields, if we can get away with that, or maybe like 3rd round pick, Hunter Renfrow, and then next year's like 6th or something, like a 3rd and a 6th and Renfrow for Fields, or you have to give up 3 1s and a 3rd. This is the Trey Lance deal for Jayden Daniels. Which one would you guys rather have? I want to know. I want to know where you guys are at. You know, I don't really like either. I mean, you know, I'm okay with trading up for Fields as long as we don't give up a lot, and I'm okay for trading up for Jayden Daniels, but I'm a little sketchy on doing. I don't like the Trey Lance deal. You know. So I'm okay with 2 number 1s and a number 3, which is the Patrick Mahomes deal. I'm okay with that. But let me know your thoughts, and I'll go ahead. Let's see. I want to know more how trades failed in big trades moving up. Okay. Okay. Which one would you do? The Justin Fields or the Jack Kenna? Oh, the 3rd. Okay, got you. Here it is. So you would do the 3rd and the 6th for Fields. It's worthy. All right. That's fair. If we, you know, let's break it down a little bit, right, guys, so that we actually know. So when we're talking about someone like Justin Fields, let me see if I can do let me try to go ahead and, you know, Justin Fields, we know, again, 230 pounds, coming out of Ohio State. It's pretty awesome in college. And if we are going to pick up someone like Justin Fields, I think it's only fair that we don't just solely judge him on what his career has been like in Chicago, because, you know, there's splashes that are great, but then there's things where we're like, I don't know, man, you know, like, is that really somebody that we would want? So let me see. Right. Let me see if this feature works, which I'm still learning it right now, guys. But if this feature part works, I am going to try to do this share screen, would you? And if it doesn't, then sorry. But let me see if it works out. Let me see. Justin Fields. No, I don't think that worked. Let's see. Present. Maybe it's share screen, guys. Let me see if I can get it to do it. Here we go. Let's see. All right. Can you guys see that? No? I'm trying to see. All right. Let me make myself smaller so that I can show it to you better. Let's see if I can get myself to be smaller. Okay. There we go. All right. How's that look? Can you guys kind of see that a little bit? Is that all right? So here's Justin Fields, guys. Just gonna play with this for a little bit. Okay, this was one of the draft scouting reports on Justin Fields. Okay. He ran 4.45. Okay, he's obviously a little bit older now, right? But here's some of the things that was said about Justin Fields back before he turned pro. Okay, so Fields plays with rhythm and makes the game look effortless. He has a great throwing technique, which produces great zip and velocity. He has a quick release and is a gunslinger with unbelievable arm strength. Produces an exceptional deep ball. So for any of you guys who are wondering, well, can he throw deep? Well, when he was being draft graded, before he got drafted by Chicago in the first round, that was one of the big things about him. He could throw the deep ball. Let's see. Once the ball has been snapped, Fields plays with nice anticipation. The ball throws, let's see. The balls he throws are catchable, and he is accurate while on the move. When the play breaks down, Fields is composed and can use his feet when recognizing pressure. Mostly work off of the shotgun, which, again, so this is what I'm saying about how when you take someone like a Jayden Daniels, how much of his plays were shotgun plays, right? Because it takes a little bit of time to get used to certain things, but mostly out of the shotgun, but still knows how to command a pro offense. Is great with play action fakes, keeps DBs off balance, really good leader, is really respected by the team and coaches alike. He's able to evade pressure and get the ball out quickly. Ran a 4.440 on his pro day, has amazing mobility. They actually, they compared him to the modern version of Michael Vick. This is when he was coming out of college, going into the draft, guys. I'm just reading to you what's being said here. Good size quarterback with a strong build, regularly gets away from tacklers due to combination of speed and power. He shows a knack of mapping the moving teammates in front of him on second reaction plays, and he has the kind of arm talent to make strong, accurate throws even when his feet aren't under him, making him special, dangerous late in plays. I mean, these are all things being said about Justin Fields when he was coming out of college, right? So again, but back then also, when he was coming out of college, his weaknesses has a tendency to hold onto the ball too long and stare down to receivers, leading to plays breaking down and defenses getting the Fields, which we know is true based on last year. So that hasn't been corrected, but has it not been corrected because that's just Justin Fields, or is it that he needs a better teacher and a better room to kind of groom him into it? We don't know, right? I mean, maybe that's the case, maybe not, right? Footwork may need improving, although it's only minor issues. Not consistent at finding the second and third options once the top read is unavailable. So see, these are really kind of fun things to go over when we're talking about someone like a Justin Fields and trying to trade up or doing a trade for Justin Fields, just because, again, that's what they were that's what they were saying about him during the time that people were going to try to draft Justin Fields, right? So I don't think a lot of the positives have really changed. But I don't think a lot. I mean, if the main negative is, he doesn't really look to throw to the second or third receiver, that's true. And a lot of the Luke Getsy tapes that I watched with him on it, he did kind of he snapped the ball, and if he looks like he's getting rushed, then he wants to just run instead of, make the play happen or make the throw. So that's why I'm saying, trading a second round pick for someone like Justin Fields, I just, I don't like it, because I still think that no matter what, if we're going to trade for someone like Justin Fields, he's going to have to compete anyways. And Aiden O'Connell might actually beat him out, because for the way Luke Getsy wants to run his offense, he wants to get the ball out quick. That's the way Luke Getsy likes it. Hey, get the ball out, right? We're going to run the ball, get the ball out. Play action, throw the ball, get it out, right? So if Justin Fields isn't really still doing that when both of them are competing, you may have Justin Fields be the backup to Aiden O'Connell, which is possible. I think that's probably one of the reasons why we have Anthony Brown Jr. right now on our future reserves contract, is that Luke Getsy is probably going to play around with it. Like, play around with a mobile quarterback like Anthony Brown Jr. versus a pocket passer like Aiden O'Connell. And the fact that we already have two styles of the same type, right? Both are going to be Anthony Brown Jr., I think, is going into the third year of his, because he's a year before Aiden O'Connell, and then Aiden O'Connell is going into the second year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that's kind of a fun idea to talk about. Let's see what else we got here. If I'm the GM, what would I do? I still think we just stay put, and I don't want to gamble any more than we really have to, right? And I know that it just depends, because I guess anything is a gamble anyways, but I don't like giving up a lot of picks to go get someone like a Jayden Daniels, just because I feel like it's like in slots, right? If I have the same amount of money that I put into the slot machine, why would I give up the whole thing just to do one pull versus I can have 5 pulls? So that's why I don't like Hondo Carpenter talked about that. It's going to take 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks to go get Jayden Daniels. Okay, I don't like that at all. That's a no for me. Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network said that it would take 3 first-round picks and a third. That's the Trey Lance deal, right? I still don't even really like that, because that's a lot, but it's almost like we're kicking out future picks. So if it was maybe, I don't know, if it was maybe 3 first-round picks, I guess, and then give them Hunter Renfrow, because if we're going to get rid of Hunter Renfrow anyways, then let's not get rid of another pick. Let's just get rid of a player that we were already thinking about moving anyhow, right? And let's say that deal goes to the Patriots. I think the Patriots might trade the number 3 pick if thinking in their heads, oh, okay, so we're going to get the number 13 pick this year, so they get to move down, and then they're going to get the Raiders first next year and the year after, and they get Hunter Renfrow, a veteran receiver that is a great slot style. They might go for that, so I might offer something like that. And even still, man, I kind of don't really want to, because I just want to build our trenches. I want to see what happens if we really put talent in the O-line and get massive talent for the defensive line, use our free agency money to really make our defense stronger, right? And then secure our O-line, but then secure our running game, which I'll talk about a little later, because we're on the quarterback subject here right now. But yeah, let's see here. Matt says he agrees with me on the idea for Mayfield or Brissett. Yeah, I mean, Brissett's not going to cost that much, is all I was saying about Brissett. Mayfield would, because then, Tampa's trying to sign him. So my whole point was, why would we offer $30 million to go get Kirk Cousins when we could offer that money to Baker Mayfield? And I'm not even saying Baker Mayfield would sign it. I'm just saying that if we make it hard for Tampa, like it'll probably drive the price up a little bit, right? And Baker Mayfield may want to come here. Maybe he does want to be a Raider. You never know. And I wouldn't mind that. Sure. Let's say we paid $30 million for Baker Mayfield to come to the Raiders, and then he's competing with Aiden. I don't think anybody's going to be mad if Baker Mayfield beats out Aiden O'Connell. And if Aiden O'Connell beats out Baker Mayfield, you should be that much more confident at how good Aiden O'Connell is then, right? Let's see. Silver Fox says he's not against getting Fields and grabbing top O-line at 13. Yeah, that's so, I'm still one of the people that's very strong on Talisi Fuaga at 13. There are others, right, that you're going to have to just kind of look over. I mean, when they keep talking about tackles in that first round, which they're saying up to 9 tackles might go in the first round, because, Joe Alt, Olu Fashanu, right, Talisi Fuaga, they're talking about Amarius Mims. Tyler Guyton kind of creeped himself up now to that late first round, right? There's a lot of like tackles talk. I mean, there's also that center, Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, but he's 330-pound center. Originally, I thought he would fall in the second round. I was kind of hoping he would have even fell to our third round pick, but now that everybody's seen how good he is and how he was mauling everybody in the Senior Bowl, if Jackson Powers Johnson has a good combine, he's probably going to go in the first round. First round center, man. I mean, I know it doesn't sound exciting, but I want you guys to think about it this way. If the Raiders were to take the 13th pick, and then if they don't have available the people that they wanted, and then Telesco and everybody, Champ Kelly decides, hey, let's just trade down. Let's trade down and get more picks. I could see us grabbing Jackson Powers Johnson late, and the main reason for it would be if we didn't pick up someone if we still have to compete against Chris Jones, we're going to want somebody who's big and strong or experienced enough and mobile enough to really be able to handle them on some one-on-one situations, right? I mean that's kind of crazy to say. That's like saying we're going to go pick up somebody who could handle Shaq. We just want to make it harder on Shaq. So same thing. We just want to make it harder on Chris Jones. If Chris Jones ends up staying, because for all we know, Chris Jones might actually say, I'm going to go to Detroit. And Detroit's one of the people that can afford him. So never know. Let's see here. Jack Kenneth said, Matt, Big Q, what would you do as a GM? All right. Let's see. Good evening. Oh, good evening, Dory. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Just catching up here a little bit. So we're going to talk about that Jane Daniels in a second. I take Fields. He evades the rush. We need O'Connell. Throws to evade the rush. Okay. All right. Don't think Fields is that much of an upgrade over O'Connell. See, now that's a fair argument. That's why I was saying that. Why would you give up a lot to go get Fields? Right? I'm not saying it's not a good idea to trade for Fields because he may be awesome if trained by our staff, right? But I'm saying, why would we give up a second-round pick? I wouldn't do that, I mean, I already don't like that I have to give up a third-round pick for Justin Fields because if I already know that you're going to get rid of him anyways, I'm gambling on it. I mean, really, I'd rather if I could get away with giving you a fourth-round pick for Justin Fields, I'd do that. I'd give you a fourth and Hunter Renfrow and call it a day. If I can get away with it, that's totally what I would do. I would feel comfortable with that. But I realize it's probably going to end up being a third and a sweetener or something like that because they're going to ask for a second. Somebody's going to say no, he's worth a fifth, and then somebody else is going to step in and try to outbid or so. We'll see, right? Let's see. What else we got? I think we made the playoffs last season if we had Fields. Okay, that's fair. I think we make the playoffs last season if they didn't call a bogus call on Jack Jones offsides against the Colts, right? There's a lot of things I know that it's one of these things where I don't know if we would have made the playoffs last year with Fields just because if you're going to make that argument, he was injured. That's the reason why Tyson Bagent beat us. Remember? That's why Tyson Bagent played 4 or 5 games. So we would, it wouldn't have been great to have Fields because then that means if we had Fields, what would we have done at that point, right? But I'll say this though, Silver Fox, if we were in a position last year during the trade deadline, let's say we'd already fired Ziegler and McDaniels, and then Champ Kelly went ahead and said, hey, Chicago, I'll trade you this and Hunter Renfrow because we're going to trade him anyways for Justin Fields. That would have been nice because then we would have had Aiden O'Connell and Justin Fields kind of trying to see which one would have worked. But I still think we would have made the playoffs if the referees didn't really screw us in the Colts game. So, that's just me. And I'm sure some other people think that way too. Let's see. I wouldn't see Fields beating AOC or being AOC Force backup if a trade happened. Well, if a trade happened, Jack, he wouldn't have a choice. So, if he beats him out fair and square, then great. But if not, then it is what it is.
So let's see. Sorry, guys. Just trying to catch up a little bit here. The thing with AOC's defense knows right where he. Yeah, that's true. But this is what I'll say too is so that's the same for Tom Brady. And if you can protect AOC, if you can protect Aiden O'Connell, again, let's watch. Let's just watch some of the tapes. Let's just watch some of the tapes on it before we go. Hey, it's sometimes you get like you have short-term memory where you see. Thanks for being here, GA Patriot. Where you see how he did, and then you're not that happy. Because honestly, guys, would we even be talking about we need an upgrade on quarterback? Let's say we made it to the playoffs last year, because everybody's just always doing hypotheticals. So hypothetically speaking, they don't call upsides on Jack Jones. We win against the Colts. We destroy the Broncos. We're in the playoffs, right? Let's say, for hypothetical speaking sake, we would have ended up having the 7th spot probably, right? So who would we have played at 7? Buffalo? Maybe? Buffalo? Maybe, right? That could have been it. What if it ended up that we played Kansas and we were just coming off beating Kansas on Christmas Day? So what if we actually beat Kansas again? I mean, if we're going to go down this hypothetical rabbit hole, then hypothetically speaking, would any of us be talking about, would anyone even bring up that Aiden O'Connell needs a replacement if Aiden O'Connell made it to the playoffs and then he won one game in the playoffs? That's more than Derek Carr. Right? So that's what I mean is it's like we got to kind of, pump the brakes, give it a chance, see what happens. Don't want to get too behind here on the comments. So hold on. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Jack says, tackle. Notre Dame. You're talking about the from Notre Dame. Yeah, that guy's a left tackle, though. I mean, Joe Alt's good, but I don't think we would get Joe Alt anyways. We would probably, though, somebody would want Joe Alt, and we would trade with that person and get more picks. Probably. I don't know. It depends. Let's see. All right. Bernard, we trade for Field and draft number 13. I still don't think Penix is going to go that high, guys. Free agent like Sam Darnold, though, that's a very possible thing that can happen because he's not going to cost a lot, right? I mean, there's also that whole Russell Wilson talk, guys. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but when we were talking about it on the Wild Wild West show on Wednesdays at 4:30 Pacific time, the Denver guy, Richie Riche, he kept saying that they're going to either force Russell Wilson to stick around with the Broncos or try to work something out. So we'll see. But if you're Russell Wilson and you're going to get paid $37 million by the Broncos anyways, then why wouldn't you just take a 1.2? I think it's 1.2 or 1.8 million for the minimum. Why not just take that, go to the Raiders, and then compete against Aiden O'Connell? And if Russell Wilson gets the starting job, Russell Wilson might want to do it just so that he could beat the heck out of, beat Denver twice, right? I mean, I don't know. So that's why you keep hearing those talks. Oh, Russell Wilson might go to the Raiders. The only thing I'll say is I'm fine with letting Russell Wilson compete against Aiden O'Connell to come to the Raiders as long as it's not going to cost more than $1.8 million. If that's all it's going to cost, why not, right? It probably costs a little bit more to get Sam Darnold. So sure, let Russell Wilson compete. Heck, let Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson compete for all I care. Let's see. I wouldn't be mad if Baker Mayfield and Aiden O'Connell or Fields and Aiden O'Connell became first day QB by committee. Yeah, GA. We were talking about that earlier. It's a very good point. Very good point. And possible, too, actually, with the Fields and AOC4. I don't know about the Baker Mayfield one because, again, I think that's going to cost north of 30, maybe 30 million. I mean, again, part of the advantage. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to Captain Jack's channel yet. Please hit the likes if you haven't yet. That really helps us out a lot. Again, if you want to follow me and you want to send me messages on what you guys want to talk about, I'm at Reyes Boxing on Instagram. So just find me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'll respond back and we can talk about it. Or like I said, I'll re-put up the link for any of you guys that want to join in for tonight. So far, I've kind of shown you the draft analysis on Justin Fields from back before he got drafted. So let's see. Oh, thanks, Shaq. Oh, okay. No, that's for you, GA. How are you and your family? I thought you were asking me, Jack. All right, but I'm doing all right. Transplant recovery's going well. I'm at 19 months right now, and family's good. Hopefully, everything's going well with you, GA. Jack, I don't know if you were here for last week's show, but last week was my birthday, so that was kind of the birthday show there. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right. This is fun. I like it. All right. Let's see. William Brown. Aiden just lacks the footwork. Just needs to work on that because he can make all the throws, in my opinion. See, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, William. And in fact, here we go. Let's have a little fun here, guys. Let me see if I can do this again. Let me see if it'll work first. All right. Hold on. Okay. So I am going to try to go ahead and bring up. So remember how I read you guys all of the draft reports on Justin Fields? So let's go ahead and type in Jayden Daniels. And then let's read what is being said about this kid from LSU. Keep in mind, again, coming out of college, Justin Fields was already bigger in terms of strength-wise than Jayden Daniels. And Justin Fields ended up getting hurt. So it's hard for me to believe that if you start Jayden Daniels right away, that he wouldn't get hurt, because that's the tendency. If Anthony Richardson got hurt because the Colts decided to start him right away instead of just starting Gardner Minshew and then putting Anthony Richards behind that would have been the better move. Which, by the way, Gardner Minshew might be a candidate for us to as a Raider too. You know, why not, right? Let him compete. But here's good old Jayden Daniels, LSU. I believe he's about the same height as Aiden O'Connell. Ran the 40. So far, they got him at 4.5. So that means Justin Fields was faster. But we'll see what happens on the combine. We'll see if he goes a little faster. Age-wise, they're about the same. Coming out of college, let's see. Let's go ahead. Jayden Daniels scouting report. Exceptional athletic ability with reported 4.5 40-yard dash. Displays natural speed and gains significant yardage as a runner with a 6'3" frame. Exhibits high proficiency in pocket maneuvering, evading pressure effortlessly, and leveraging vision to find escape lanes for ground gains. Impressive arm strength, allowing him to target all three levels of the field with ease. Demonstrates quick release, especially on short and intermediate throws. Expertise in throwing on the run, maintaining focus on downfield targets, and delivering accurate throws even across his body. So that's one of the first differences right there, guys, that we already see. Even now, Jayden Daniels is talked about as someone who is better at throwing on the run versus even on the draft analysis for Justin Fields, he was more like, I'm going to run. I could throw the deep ball, but I'm going to run. I'm not going to keep my eye down the field and throw on the run. Versus right away, it's already being talked about that Jayden Daniels will still look to throw, even if he's on the run. So that's already one of the positive perks with having someone like him, right? Let's see. What else is it about Jayden Daniels? Sound decision-making ability, distinguishing between moments to be aggressive and those to opt for checkdowns, experienced in full field and half field reads, consistent drops, smooth footwork, and compact throwing motion, capable of stepping into pressure for accurate throws during collapsing plays. Outstanding running ability, particularly on QB run design plays, controls game tempo with QB power, counter draw plays, elusive in the open field. brings leadership qualities as a seasoned starter, no athletic limitations, fitting of the dual threat quarterback profile perfectly. So, those were the weaknesses has struggled to consistently operate from the pocket, particularly with throws across all field levels, displays discomfort and inconsistency when required to make extended progressions, inconsistent throwing motion, which hampers accuracy, timing, and power, lacks proper lower body engagement, resulting in reduced throw power and accuracy, especially on sideline passes. Faces issues connecting his throwing motion with his legs, leading to inconsistent ball placement and capped arm strength. And that, so that's something that's really, if you guys want to talk about this a little bit more, what I've noticed from when I've seen what the Jayden Daniels tape. And I talked to you guys about this last week, where the more I watched Jayden Daniels, the more I fell in love with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas as his wide receivers. I really think Malik Neighbors, guys, is going to shock you. I'd be very surprised if Malik Neighbors does not get picked in the first 10 picks. I think someone like the Chargers is going to go get a guy like that, like a number 5. Rome Odunze is really good too. I mean, those first Marvin Harrison, Rome Odunze, and Malik Neighbors, man, those guys are good. Like, I'm telling you, those guys, I would be very surprised if they don't get picked up. They're so good, so good. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'll put this up, GA. That could have been possible, maybe. All right, Matt. We can get into that. We can get into that in a second, and with the free agency and whatnot. Sure. But yeah, let me just finish with this then. Let me finish with this idea for you guys. When it comes to who we're bringing in for quarterback, I think that we need to believe that we are into positive. Aiden O'Connell won 5 games, lost 5 games, started 10 in a rookie season with a lot of turmoil. Still proved to us he could keep a cool, calm, collected head, processes well. We know he could throw the deep ball, and his chemistry with Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker is only going to get better. If Aiden O'Connell is everything that his draft analysis says he is, I'm for sure that he's probably still in Vegas right now, and he's probably studying tape all the time, and he's probably working on his game all the time, right? So I'm not mad if Aiden O'Connell is our starter next year. If anything, I actually prefer it, even if we do trade up to go get a quarterback. That's how I'll end that. But no, keep sending your comments. And sure, Matt, let's talk about it. Defensive tackle situation, we need it. We need it bad. The great news is there are so many good defensive tackles in that are all going to become free agents. So let me see if I can actually do this. I believe I can do. Let me take this out. I'm going to show you that there are people right now like, sorry guys. There are people right now like Christian Wilkins, Justin Matabuke, DJ Reader from Cincinnati, Chris Jones, still a name, still available. And again, if the conservative figure for the Raiders' current cap space is between 46 and 50 million right now, that's before the Jimmy Garoppolo cut. And that's before the Hunter Renfrow trader cut, then it's fair to say that we will most likely be up around the 70 million range. And if we are around that 70 million range, man, I mean, you tell me, Matt, like Justin Matabuke, Christian Wilkins, DJ Reader, like even if we don't get Chris Jones, there's so many good defensive tackle scenarios. Now, here's the other thing. When we're talking about that free agency, we also have the chance to get Byron Murphy. And you guys there's gonna be people that are gonna talk about Newton from Cincinnati. I believe he's from Cincinnati, Jerswan Newton. And he's good, but Chris Jenkins is really good from Michigan too. And I think Chris Jenkins, we can get him in the second round. Byron Murphy would be the guy I would want. And if I had to use pick number 13 for Byron Murphy, for me, I would love that. I wouldn't be mad because Byron Murphy, I kind of call him like a little mini Aaron Donald. He's from Texas. And yes, he had the benefit of having T'Vondre Sweat right next to him. And T'Vondre Sweat's that big 360-pound, kind of eats up the middle guy. And then you had Byron Murphy rushing and getting a lot of that. I mean, one-on-one, nobody's beating Byron Murphy. On a one-on-one scenario, there's not going to be a lot of people that can beat that guy. And pass rush, which we want, right? So imagine like AP always talks about wanting to run a NASCAR, especially when they're playing someone like Patrick Mahomes. But if you have someone like Byron Murphy, so imagine Byron Murphy and Tyree Wilson, two rushing inside. Then you got Kuntz and Crosby both rushing on the outside, right? I mean, that's a lot of speed coming that way. So I definitely like Byron Murphy, but let's see what you guys are saying over here on oh, thank you, Silver and Black. Let's see if any of you guys are agreeing with that. Yeah, that's the quarterback GA. Thank you. Yeah, trenches and speed. We definitely want that. Byron Murphy, guys, is fast too, and I mean, in terms of the trenches in the speed. But yeah, there'll be receivers out there too. I just don't think it's our top priority, but I do think we'll end up. There's news already that the Raiders have interviewed Malik Washington, and Malik Washington, the comp for him right now. If you guys want to look at the tape on this guy, and this guy looked good too on the Senior Bowl week. But Malik Washington is Tank Dell. And if you guys remember how good Tank Dell was before he got injured when he was playing for the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud last year in his rookie year, Malik Washington's that good. So I would not be surprised at all if Malik Washington ends up in the third or the fourth round and we end up getting a guy like that. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, pressure up the middle. Agree with you guys there. Big Cat. Are you talking about Chris Jones? Or are you talking about DJ Reader? You're going to have to help me out. Let's see. Wilkins? Yeah. Yeah, so Matt, I don't like I definitely don't. I like Wilkins coming to us, although I wouldn't be surprised if Miami tags him. He's really powerful for them on the inside. I don't like taking Newton at 13. I mean, the reason why he's not going to the combine is because he has that fractured foot. And a lot of people were complaining about the whole Tyree Wilson fractured foot thing. So, I'm not low on Tyree Wilson. I like Tyree Wilson. Picking him at 7 rather than, I don't know, trading up to go get C.J. Stroud. I mean, I would have rather go the C.J. Stroud route, obviously. But Tyree Wilson, at the end of the day, I think you guys will end up being happy with him. I don't think he was a bad pick. He is a physical specimen. And now that he's playing more of this, he's now playing kind of the same position that Derek Brown from the Carolina Panthers plays, that inside left end, right end kind of deal. So yeah, if we keep him on the inside, and again, what's cool about Tyree Wilson is he is versatile. You can keep him in the inside, put him on the outside sometimes, right? He'll still get a chance to develop. And if Malcolm Kuntz is an example of someone that was developed by the Raider coaching staff and Patrick Graham, imagine how good Tyree Wilson is going to be. And Tyree Wilson is much bigger, and really he might be faster or might be as fast, but he's definitely bigger and stronger than Malcolm Kuntz. So yeah, let's see. What else do you guys got here for me? In one of the early rounds, Al Davis always wanted the fastest man available, regardless of position. That's not a bad rule to have. Let's see. Leonard Williams always wanted to be a Raider. Yeah, see, so the thing is, I like that too. I think last week GA asked who's a really big, solid defensive tackle, like a real one that could eat it up. And Leonard Williams would be perfect, except I honestly think Silver and Black that he is probably going to get franchise tagged by Seattle. Otherwise, they gave up a lot to get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid just to let him go, right? Like, I think someone so as an example, again, a lot of this is just the numbers game. So you're going to want to pay attention to like over the cap. But like Calvin Ridley, the reason why I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars will even try to give him a contract is because if they keep him, from what I understand, they have to lose a second round pick. That's part of the way they got him. So just by letting him go, they don't lose the second round pick. So with Leonard Williams, they traded, I think, a second round to get Leonard Williams. And now that they have Leonard Williams, they're just going to let him go. Like, I think he's going to get tagged. But I would love that. I would love Leonard Williams. It could be a tag. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Seattle would go for a tag and trade. So they tag Leonard Williams and then they trade him to the Raiders. That wouldn't be terrible depending on what we had to trade. That wouldn't be the worst move in the world for us, though, to get somebody like Leonard Williams. So I like it. Let's see. Oh, I did. Okay, GA, I did. I covered it because it got finalized that it was 255. The Raiders currently are, some reports are going to say 46 million. Some reports are going to say 50. I looked at it right now at over the cap. Over the cap says 42 million. So, we'll see. But the main topic we've been talking about is all the different people we can get. And again, let me go ahead and resend this out because I don't know if you guys got this. But here is the link to the StreamYard again for any of you that want to jump in. And then GA, so message from Captain Jack. Here you go, guys. Here's a little update from the man himself. He says, ladies and gentlemen, and Angelo, a.k.a. Raider Transplant, my best to all. Hope everyone is doing well. My school hiatus is very taxing on my time. Very tiring. Best to all. Yar. So, like I said, Captain Jack's doing fine. I know a lot of people were concerned last week, and I kept saying it's fine. So, he says he is headed to bed. Good night, everyone. So there you go. Captain Jack's doing just fine. I'm going to leave that up for a little bit, guys, so that for people that are coming in late, they know that Captain Jack's doing just fine. Everything's great. Let's see. It's funny. Captain Jack says he has to get up at 4:20 a.m. So it's super, super early for him. But yeah, I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. So for people that are coming in late, you guys know that Captain Jack is saying hello to everybody. He is watching the shows. So he appreciates everybody coming in. Last Sunday, again, was insane. There was, for like a solid 2 hours, I don't know how or why, but 250 of you guys stayed on and we just kept talking about this stuff. So thanks. I appreciate all of you guys. That's amazing. Thank you. Again, I left this is the actual StreamYard. For any of you who want to jump in, man, just let me know. Happy to give you some airtime. And you guys can say whatever you want to say and talk about that stuff. Let's see. James says that Leonard Williams is overrated. Maybe. I only care about whether or not he can help, But let's see. All right, GA saying. All right, Captain Jack is saying thanks, and he's headed out now. So hopefully Captain Jack enjoyed the show. Let's see here. We're getting some stuff here on. All right, James saying good night. So yeah, guys, if you want to come on, for right now, I'll tell you what, I am going to see if I can actually do this with you guys. I am going to try to do the same thing where I am going to share screen over the cap. But hold on. Give me just 1 second. Over the cap. So this is one of one of the ones that I really like looking at, the over the cap, just because it's one of those ones that give us a good idea. So let me see. Can you guys see that one over the cap? Yeah. Okay, cool. So right here, you'll already notice, I don't know if I can enlarge this or not. Let me see. Oh, I can. That's cool. All right, boom. There you go, guys. So over the cap right there currently says 42 million. So that kind of gives you like an idea of where it's at. Okay. And then what's cool about over the cap that I like is it breaks it down for you. Like here's the whole thing with Garoppolo, right? And if you want to play around with it, you could do like, hey, what happens if we cut him after? You know, so if you do post, see, it shows you right here that the dead money would only be 4 million. But see, the reason why I don't think he's going to get cut post June 1st is because I don't think Mark Davis would want to pay him that money anyways, because right now Mark Davis can get away with just paying him 17 million and then that's it. And then that's the dead cap hit for the Raiders. But then we'll save 11 million. But see, look, watch what happens, guys. Like, so you see up top, right? It says 42 million. I'm playing it for you guys. Watch when I press submit on Garoppolo and we cut him. See, change to 54 million. So then this, you can do this. Like you can do, like, for example, I think we're going to end up cutting, hold on for a second. I think we're going to end up cutting Hunter Renfrow, and I think we're probably going to cut him after June 1st if we can't find a trade partner. So when I do post June 1st cut, look what happens. Our salary cap already goes up to 66 million. So this is what I mean about how like you can play around with this stuff and you can see it for yourself. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun thing to do, just to see how these numbers could be played with. Let me see what you guys are saying right here, right now. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, I did talk about that, GA. T. Higgins was franchise tagged already. And nothing for like Chris Jones or any of the big guys yet. But again, man, remember, they have until March 5th, right? So I think the reason why other teams they're not trying to get like in trouble for pre-talking or, you know, whatnot. So, yes, Matt, Leonard Williams is better than what we would have right now. That's 100% sure. Yeah, Raiders need to hit a home run with drafts and free agency. I mean, you would hope. You would hope. No. So yeah. So GA. That's voided money. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so the way it works is if we cut him before in March, then what happens is Mark Davis will have to just pay the 17 million, and then that's it. Then we're good. But if Mark Davis actually wanted to wait till later, he would have to pay him, I think, like more money. But then we get more money on the cap space. But yeah, you're right. I think that what's going to happen is we're just going to eat the 17 million, or Mark Davis is going to eat the 17 million. 17 million is going to get taken away from the current salary cap space, and then at that point, it'll free up the 11 million, and then we don't have to pay him at all for next year. So I think that's the way that's working. I wanted to show you guys this part, though. This is one of the fun ones that I like about this setup. So you can go to teams, right? You can pick Raiders, and then it kind of just shows you where everybody's at, what they're doing, shows you the contract, shows you a calculator. But when you press free agency, what's fun is this is our current people that's going to get let go because of free agency. So Josh Jacobs is going to be the big topic. Obviously, I kind of want to talk about that tonight on what you guys are thinking. We talked earlier about how Andre James is a free agent, which is why I was saying we should just go ahead and try to pay for Lloyd Cushenberry, who was coached by James Craig, who's our O-line coach now, and then we could get that synergy back from his LSU days. But people like Bilal Nichols, Jermaine Illuminor. So Jermaine Illuminor is interesting. I wouldn't necessarily want to lose him, but I don't want to pay too high for him. If we can keep him on like a veteran minimum, keep him on the roster, Illuminor would be great to keep. But a lot of these guys are right here. You could take a look at everybody that's essentially getting cut. That's why O-line is so important. We're essentially losing, I think, like 5 O-line people into free agency. But here's the other thing that I like. You can go into free agency tracker, and let me blow this up for you. So if you look over here, this is kind of fun, right? Let me see. Yeah, everybody could see that. Sorry about that car ad right there. Let me try to take that out of your way. But if you look right here, see Cousins, Tannehill, Leonard Williams, Chris Jones, Danielle Hunter, Mike Evans, right? There's all these different free agents. And then if you really do like here's the defensive tackles, right? Leonard Williams, Chris Jones, DJ Reader, Grover Stewart, Fletcher Cox, Sheldon Rankins. I mean, a lot of these guys are right there, for us to grab. So it'll be interesting. Like I like the Christian Wilkins as long as he doesn't get tagged. But once we start to find out who is really going to get tagged and who's not, let me see. Let's see if there's any. I heard did Raekwon Davis get let go? I'm not sure. But yeah, Justin Matabuke, only 27 years old. So there's some good ones in here too that still needs to get developed. But if we're going for home run hits, okay, there you go. See, Nick Thurman got signed already. Reyes. So yeah. But that's a fun little, one that you guys could play with if you ever want to just play with over the cap. I like using over the cap. Let's see if you guys are ready to talk about that. If Jacobs doesn't want to make a deal, we get an extra 3rd round pick if he signs with another team. I love JJ, but if he wants to chase the money, okay, that's fair. When we're saying the word, if he doesn't want to make a deal, let me just get you guys' take on what that deal would be, right? Let's see. Silver and Black says, I love JJ, but letting him go is a better business decision and can grab young legs in later rounds. So just so that you guys know, currently right now, I believe he's projected to be, let me see. I'll tell you the exact, but if you go to Sport Track, it says that Josh Jacobs' current valuation is, let's see, Josh Jacobs' current valuation, market value, $10.6 million. So the contract that Sport Track is saying that would be a fair contract based on comparable players and their current contract. So they're comparing them to people that got deals like Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Jonathan Taylor. So the comp for Josh Jacobs at his current age and what he's currently been able to do is an average annual salary of $10.6 million. So the market value is a 4-year deal, $42.7 million. So I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me. Are you happy with possibly giving that up? 42.7 million for Josh Jacobs over a 4-year period. You let me know. What do you guys think? I want to hear some opinions on that one, so that I know where you guys are at. Anyone? Bueller? Let's see. 28 million. All right. So GA goes, I'd offer him 28 million over 3 years with a big guaranteed signing bonus. So let's see if we divide that. Okay. That's fair. But when you say a big guaranteed signing bonus, So then we're talking about a deal that's going to end up being closer to 50 million if you're going to give him a big signing bonus, right? I mean, is that what you're thinking? Because let's see, if you only add a 12 million on that, then you're at 40 already. I don't think a $15 million signing bonus is going to do it. So you're probably, what are you talking about? Like giving him a $28 million over 3 years with what, like a $25 million signing bonus? 30? Okay, 30 million. Okay. You know what? Sure. If the signing bonus doesn't hurt us on the cap, if Mark Davis is willing to give him a lot of money over that period of time, if John, I mean that doesn't really I mean, I guess that kind of sort of resets the market, right? Because if you're giving them a $30 million bonus with a 28 million divided over 3 years, so let's say, I mean, I don't know. I think we could probably get him for, honestly, like a 4-year deal because he wants to be a Raider for life. He's only 27, I think. He's about to be 27. So if we did more like a 4-year deal, 4-year or 5-year deal, I mean, like if I can get away with giving Josh Jacobs a 5-year deal at 60 million, let's say, 5-year, 60 million upfront, a bunch of cash, but then the first 2 years will only cost us on the salary cap like between 6 and 7 million for 2024 and 2025, something like that. You know, you just kind of kick the can, and then if we want to trade them later or whatever happens later, you know, we could do something or some restructure. But yeah, that's not bad. Let's see. Silver and Black says no. So tell us what you want to do, Silver and Black. You can't just say nope, man. You got to add to it. Tell us your deal. Okay, I see, GA. You're saying, man, I don't know if that's going to work because 30 million for 3 years, a bunch of upfront money. I don't know how that would work. Actually, that's good. Actually, let me see. Let's see what happens here. Let's play with it, GA, shall we? Let us do that. We're going to look at Josh Jacobs. Okay. Current annual pay is 11.7. His guarantees are already 10 million. We go into his screen, 26 years old. Let's make this bad boy a little bit bigger. Okay. 5 seasons, right? Okay, so we're saying we do like him. That is what we're saying. We're saying we like him. But let's see how that deal would work. Let's see here. I mean, it's hard. So you want to divide 3 years. So we would drop this cap number essentially. I don't know. I don't know if he would take that actually. The way 30 million for 3 years. I don't know if he'd take it. And the only reason why I'm saying I don't know if he would take it is according to the Sport Track, like I was telling you guys earlier, what Aaron Jones got was 48 million for 4 years. What Nick Chubb got was 36.6 million for 3 years. And, you know, so you're essentially, it's like you're asking Josh Jacobs to get James Conner money. James Conner got a 3-year, $21 million deal. Ooh, you know, versus like just recently, right? Jonathan Taylor got that one valued extension or whatever it is that the Colts did, but it values itself out to 3 years for 42 million. So like if you're Josh Jacobs and you already know that you're going to be getting a little bit less than 10 million, let's say, per, and you're not resetting the market, are you really going to be okay that you're making that much less money than Jonathan Taylor? I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know. All right. Thanks, GA. Appreciate you. Let's see. If they invest in the O-line, there are some good running backs coming out. Okay. I'll tell you what, Silver and Black, I got a few more minutes here. So you tell me, who are these good running backs you're talking about? Because from what everybody's saying about the draft this year, there is nobody that's going to be graded for the first or second round. So you're talking about a bunch of third round running backs like Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Dylan Johnson, like all of these names that are dropping, right? Are any of those comparable to Josh Jacobs? I mean, if we're being serious about it, I'd say they're not Josh Jacobs, but you tell me what you're thinking. Let's see, Matt. Okay, this is good news. I like that. JJ said he wants to stay 3 years, $25 million. So that's the only thing, Matt, is that there's this thing that happens in the NFL where it's still a business. And it's like, if you're one of the higher performing younger employees of this NFL corporation, and someone like Jonathan Taylor is getting paid $14 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're Josh Jacobs, so you still got this pride. And this other guy who's basically like equal scenario, right? Are you really okay with like that? Like a deal like that, 3 years, $25 million? I mean, that's way less than what, keep in mind again, 3 years, $42 million is where Jonathan Taylor is at. And I'm not saying we should pay 3 years, $42 million for Josh Jacobs. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying put yourself in Josh Jacobs' shoes and what would you consider as fair? That's why I kind of want you guys to, jump on and let me know, right? Yeah, I agree with you, Silver and Black. If they invest in the O-line, there are some good running backs. But when you say good, I want to know who you're talking about, right? And it's not, again, you're talking about, if you're saying you're replacing Blake Corum with Josh Jacobs, I'd still rather pick Josh Jacobs. I'd still like draft Blake Corum, or I'd draft Dylan Johnson, but not to replace Josh Jacobs. So, for curiosity's sake, then let's see. So if we're looking at the free agency tracker, guys, right now, currently the free agents running backs that are available are, let's see. I'm going to share it with you guys so you can see. But says right here, if you look, okay, you guys can see this, right? So take a look at this. Like, if you're not going to pay Josh Jacobs, there's Derrick Henry. All right. Tony Pollard will probably get tagged. Saquon Barkley, if he doesn't get tagged, would you rather have Saquon or Josh? Austin Eckler will most likely get he knows Telesco. Telesco's the one that got him, so Eckler might be cheaper because, look, Eckler was only $6 million last year, and given how he performed, we could probably get someone like Eckler for $4 million, right? Gus Edwards that's a big back right there. He's a free agent. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's not terrible, but he's a free agent. Devin Singletary is a good one for me, guys. Like, if Devin Singletary is a guy who I would want to get regardless of whether we're emailing or renewing or re-signing Josh Jacobs again. What do you guys think about that, Devin Singletary? Because Singletary did great. For fantasy, he was awesome. But Devin Singletary was amazing. And last year, he only got paid 2.7. So let's say Singletary will cost, to become a Raider. Let's say he only costs another $4. I'd take that deal. What do you guys think, right? So, but that's what I mean is like, I kind of want to hear where you guys are at on that and what you think. Because there's again, when we're talking about running backs, our running back scenario could really be fluid. A lot of different things. But Josh Jacobs is probably somebody that will get renewed. I hope, most likely they won't tag him because I think the tag's going to cost between 11 and 14 million. I'm not sure how it works for him, but I know it'll definitely be 11 million or more. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let's see what else. Other than that, I was just covering the free agent. We talked about the free agents of the who who are the free agents that's gonna can help us with the defensive line? Who are the free agents that can help us with the offensive line? You know, we talked about running backs, we talked about quarterbacks. So I'll give it a few minutes here before I start to head out. But if you guys have any other suggestions on anything, please send it on the comment. And again, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and joining. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Captain Jack wants me to show this to make sure for any of you guys. Let's see. There is this right here. All right. I'll keep that up for a second. And then, yeah, no, that's, I mean, I'm excited again. I'm excited about the combine, guys. It's the first time we're going to start to see everyone is on Tuesday on the NFL Network. That's going to be great. I'm going to have far more content for you guys going into next week, because then we're really going to know what's going on. Also, super fun talk for the Wild Wild West show. That's on Wednesdays at 4:30. That's always a fun time if you guys want to check that out. And then, the quarterback conversations is going to keep happening until we really know what's going on. But we're kind of at a stalemate right now because we don't know what's going to happen with free agency. We don't know who else is getting taken or whatnot. Let's see. Jonathan Brooks out of Texas. Still think he's going to end up going to third, fourth. He might even, I mean, Jonathan Brooks, probably solid fourth rounder. Here, let me put that up. Silver and Black says Jonathan Brooks, Texas. Trey Benson, Florida State. Yeah, all of the, I mean, Bucky Irving. Yeah, you're right. And all of them, I don't see any of these guys going into second. So they're going to be at highest third round pick, fourth round pick. And I don't disagree with you when you say that they're good, but to replace Josh Jacobs, nah, I wouldn't replace Josh Jacobs with any of these guys. There's not a Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of this, there's a reason why Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs last year both went into first round, right? Because these are dogs. Like, these are guys who, if you told me there was a Bijan Robinson coming out or a Jahmyr Gibbs coming out, and then that was the plan, okay. But that's not, none of these guys are those guys. I mean, we'll see, I guess. We'll see what happens in the combine. I think that your statement of it looks like Josh slowed down. I think what really hurt Josh Jacobs, honestly, is he didn't do a full camp. Like remember, he did like almost 1,700 yards the year before. It's because he did preseason. He did like every game. And it's like when you're a fighter, man, when you're getting to spar often and you're getting into ring a lot and you're getting a lot of activity, it's much easier to just kind of go right into a fight. So Josh Jacobs, because he tried to do that whole, I'm going to hold out deal and let me see what happens. And I think that hurt him. And then, then it takes him longer to get going. Then he got injured. So I think it's a combination of things. Like, O-line wasn't, all together. That's why it's so important for us to spend the money on O-line. Also, again, the coaching, like what scheme are we running? Now that we have Luke Getsy, I think that solidifying the O-line, having Luke Getsy as our offensive coordinator, and then letting Josh Jacobs share the load with Zamir White, let Britton Brown get in there. Let's see how good he looks. We have Sincere McCormick on our future reserves list. I think we have Tyler McAllister there too. So like I said, now we're going to get to find out where we're at. So that's why I don't really want to let Josh Jacobs go. I get it. I don't want to pay Josh Jacobs $14 million. I'm not trying to give him Jonathan Taylor money, but I still, man, you say these names and these are not replacement names for Josh Jacobs to me. They're other development. They would be like Jonathan Brooks and Trey Benson and Bucky Irving. I know you're excited for him this year, but it's kind of like no one thought Zamir White would be as good as he was. Ziegler did. Ziegler drafted him, and then you just saw how good Zamir White was. He ran 100 yards each game for 4 games straight. Like Zamir White's pretty good. So that's what I'm saying is we already have a Zamir White. Why would we, like I'm not going to hate if we draft like Bucky Irving in the 5th or something, right? Or whatever, like Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Dylan Johnson from Washington. There's a lot of different names out there that we could draft late. But again, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on letting Josh Jacobs go. I get that we will end up getting a 3rd round pick back if another team picks him up, I think. But yeah, I like the Josh Jacobs. I like figuring it out. Let's see here. Appreciate your knowledge and insights. Great show tonight. You changed my mind. All right. Hey, Silver and Black, man. Look, listen. If you want to jump on, let me know. If you seriously, if you want to jump on, I can hang out for a couple more minutes if you want, and I'll let you talk. It'd be fun. But yeah. And then next week, if you want to jump on and talk, that works for me too, brother. Again, that's why I leave the site out. It's kind of like when they would have listeners that are calling in. I'm more than happy to give you guys airtime for this. So, but yeah, no, as long as we're not overpaying for JJ, you understand what I'm saying, right? Silver and Black. I'm not trying to pay JJ $14 million a year, man. I'm not trying to give him no Jonathan Taylor type money, but we can make it reasonable. We can make it work. We can make him a lifelong Raider. He's a great leader in the locker room. He's huge to the Filipino community. He's right now it's between him and Cam Bynum, but top 2, I still think he's probably the best Filipino player in the entire NFL, and that's a huge marketing thing. And Nevada has the highest population of Asian Americans in the entire state of Nevada is Filipino American. And for Josh Jacobs to have been raised Filipino American, his dad was born in the Philippines, his grandma raised him, who's Filipina. So I mean, I'll pay the $10 million for it. Like I'll give him the deal to stick around and be a lifelong Raider. Let's see, Matt still on. Thank you, Matt. Matt says JJ and White is a nice 2-headed monster at RB. Maybe a wishbone formation. Yeah, you know what? I was actually thinking about that too, Matt. Like I was saying how. Remember when we had Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson? Like, I think some people who don't know, but I'm wearing my Super Bo Jackson. This is a vintage shirt that my brother got me, by the way, guys. I don't know if you remember this one from back in the day. It's got the caricature look. It's one of my favorite shirts that my brother got me for Christmas. But I don't know if people like forgot or because of the narrative of Bo Jackson, they always thought like he's a running back. But remember, we used to have him at fullback. Marcus Allen was the running back. Then we had Bo Jackson as the fullback. So how cool would it be if we did that again? Like if we had Josh Jacobs as that Bo Jackson position, and then we had Zamir White at the Marcus Allen position, at least on some formations, and give it a try. I'm right there with you, Matt. I think that'd be fun. That'd be totally fun. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Jared. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm doing my best. Like I told you guys, every Sunday, like I'm not just going to go in here and talk. I'm going to research out what's going on for the week. Then I'm going to give you a recap of what everybody else is talking about, right? So that's what I started with the show. If you didn't catch the beginning, that's kind of what I was talking about is, hey, this is what everybody's talking about. Justin Fields and Jayden Daniels. And, so I just kind of give you that recap. But I do like to kind of play around. I'm going to end up doing pretty soon, but I just want to wait till the combine was over. Like a draft with you guys, like kind of a mock draft, but I want you guys to pick it. So instead of me picking it, I kind of want to do one where I'll do a share screen, like what I did tonight. I'll do one like this, and then it'll be the draft board, right? And then I'm going to have you guys picking who's going to go. So I'll play around with it a little bit, but then I'm gonna have you guys do it. It'll be fun. I want to wait till after the. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I want to wait till after this combine. Then once you guys got to look at all of these people and get excited about who's fast and who's not, then I'm gonna do like this mock draft on this show, and then I'm gonna put up the screen. So I'll just be like a little face on the corner here, and then you guys will get to draft it yourself. Let's see. Matt says Allen was actually the fullback. And sometimes though they would switch out, Matt. Like they would switch out. But I think you're right on some of them. Maybe because remember, like Bo got to do it for 3. I think I'm like in the second year or something. But they were switching. But it'd be kind of fun to bring that back, right? Not have like a because I think it's not like Josh Jacobs can't block, man. You know, open up some holes for Zamir White. It could be fun. Plus, if you do that formation, it'll throw people off. Like you don't know who's going to run, right? Is it going to be Zamir White? Is it going to be Josh Jacobs? So we'll see. We'll see. I know I had a great time talking with you guys about the quarterback situation, the free agency situation, what's going on with the cap room. Totally enjoyed interacting with you guys. So, like I said, I'm gonna play around with this share app because I kind of want to see what would happen if we did there's some fun mock some fun sites that do the mock drafts or draft simulators. So I think it'd be really fun if we all did it, but instead of me choosing, I'll let you guys choose, and then whoever you guys think. Other than that, again, anytime you guys want to, I want to put this up, Matt. Bo does know. I have those shirts too, the Bo knows shirts. That was an awesome campaign. Love that campaign. Actually, when I was with Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao, like they did this whole thing for Freddie where there were Nike shirts that were made and it said Freddie knows. And it was during the time where he was like winning all the time as a coach. It was pretty fun back then. But I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys who came to watch. Appreciate everybody and all your positive comments. And, thank you guys. You'll see me again on Wednesday on this channel at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. And that's with the Wild Wild West show. So that's with Alex Givens, who represents the Kansas City Chiefs, and Richie Riche, who represents the Denver Broncos, and Robert Garcia, who represents the Chargers. We're going to talk about kind of what's going on with the West and those scenarios. And then Bishop AJ the Raider will be hosting you guys on Thursday night. So you'll see him. And then next week, Sunday, I'll host it again. So we'll have a whole week's worth of combine and a lot of different athletes that we can talk about at that point. And then I'll probably do the mock draft simulator for you guys shortly after that. Or maybe I'll do it next Sunday. We'll see what happens. But I'm sure I'll let you know. Please follow me at Reyes Boxing on Instagram if you want to message me so we can talk about whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. Give me a follow or DM me, Reyes Boxing on Instagram. Again, I am Raider Transplant, aka Angelo. The rest of you guys, I appreciate all of you for showing up. Thank you so much for there's a lot of different things that you guys could be doing right now. So I appreciate you guys giving me your time. And thank you. Hopefully the information was fun and joyful for you. And I'll see you guys again next week on Wednesday, 4:30, and Sunday. Thank you, guys.